When people start polishing with dual action machine, they often expect quick results. They buy polishing machine, lots of people do research, so they look for recommended compounds and pads, they buy them, and then they struggling with the finish they were expecting. The reason of that is very, very simple. People expect results from products, from polisher, but they overlook that these are only tools in your hand, and whatever you do with them, that's where you're getting the results. So here I'm gonna give you the most common mistakes. So the first one, and probably the biggest one, people buy the dual action machine because they heard that it's the safest one. Yes, it is safest machine to use compared to rotary polisher or even gear driven dual action. However, this polisher provides two motions. First one is orbital motion that is forced by the machine, but you have also rotary motion that is sort of forced by the orbital motion, and the higher speed of the polisher you have, the stronger rotary motion you will have there. However, if you start to tilt the polisher or apply too much pressure on it, the rotary motion will stop or slow down. And when the rotary motion stops or slows down, your progress is dropped dramatically. You need to maintain rotary motion all the time. You can spend many long hours polishing the car, but your progress will be very slow. And the reason why people lose the rotary polisher during using dual action polisher is because you see the polisher from the top. So when you use it, you have orbital motion in place all the time. So the polisher is sort of working, but from the top it's very hard to see the rotary motion of the polisher. To have better control during your polishing with dual action polishers, all you could do is put two markers on the backing plate, and this way you will be able to see it a lot better whether the rotary motion is in place or no. Second mistake, and this will cause lack of results altogether, is your arm speed when you're doing your polishing. If you're moving polisher too fast, you're not letting your combination to do much work on the panel, and you can spend long hours polishing this way, but still you're never gonna get sort of effective, efficient results. So what is correct arm speed? Roughly on area 16 by 16 inches, when you move in polisher from one side to the other, it should take you anything between 7 to 15 seconds. If it takes you 2 to 3 seconds, you're definitely going too fast. If you're spending 30 seconds on one movement, that's too slow then. The third one is the speed of the machine. Overall, there's no set speed to do every job. You have to adjust the speed of the polisher every time you're doing the job. However, if you're looking for quicker correction, you'll be looking at higher speeds of the polisher. Yes, I know, there are theories about machine polishing that should be done on lower speeds, but this theory is strictly from people using rotary polishers, and they are correct, because with rotary polisher, if you apply too high speeds, you will increase the heat on the panel very quick. But dual action is not rotary polisher, and this is huge difference. Dual action doesn't build up heat on panels same as the rotary does. So if you use moderate speed and you try to correct the paint, you can forget about it. Fourth gear, in most of cases when it comes to dual action polishers, that's a moderate speed. If you go below that, those speeds are only good for spreading the compound, but if you're looking for results, you want to look at higher speeds. You get in some results with on the fourth gear. However, if you want to speed up the process, you can turn it to fifth gear, and that will increase your cutting power 10, 15, 20%. If you go to the next speed, that's gonna give you quicker results again. So you won't be overheating the panel, but you just be simply increasing the power of your cutting stage. Of course, if you're working aggressively on higher speeds, you want to check the panel every so often. In some cases, even though dual action polisher doesn't build up the heat, it might, because there is lots of friction, and simply it might just increase the heat. So you want to control this factor too. When it comes to refining stage, yes, you're not working as aggressively because there is no need for that. So gear 4, the speed of gear 4, in most cases, it's absolutely fine for that stage. However, for coating stage, it won't do too much for you. Number 4 is the pressure that you apply on the polisher. If you apply tiny bit of pressure that doesn't slow down the speed or doesn't stop the polisher, and the polisher is still working freely, working lively, then this will increase the speed of your work. So this way you could save 10 to 15% of the time that you need to spend for your polishing. However, if you apply too much pressure on the polisher and you will slow down or stop the rotary motion, then of course you're gonna reduce your progress. Number 5, the area that you try to polish at the time. Lots of people hope to do the job quickly, so they try to increase the area and maybe do half of the bonnet. When you're starting off, what you should start is simply 3x3 size of your pad. This will be the most optimal size of area that you should start polishing with. If you try to extend it too much, you will be simply reducing the coating power your polishing combination has. Of course, this is not the only proper area that you could polish at the time. Over time, when you get good experience with polishers, you will understand how this all works. You can always try to increase the area. By increasing, if it still works as you expect, then you'll be saving time. Number 6, too many passes on the section you're polishing at the time. Basically, these days, most compounds, they have diminishing properties. So that means you're starting with, for example, heavy coating compound, but during your polishing, the abrasive properties of the compound are getting smaller and smaller. So it doesn't make sense to carry on for 20 passes on one section. The most recommended number would be anything between 4 to 8 passes. If you're not getting results with that number, what you're better off to do is do 8 passes maximum and repeat the section with fresh compound and fresh pad. So too many passes, you're simply wasting your time, you're not getting better results. Number 7, lack of inspection. If you're working without inspection torch and panel wipe, you're simply working blind. Something that looks good in random lighting might still have lots of imperfections that you simply can't see. Proper inspection is the only way that you can achieve effective, efficient, long-lasting results. So basically, your inspection torch will show you imperfections before you start polishing. Then, to the level of imperfections, you have to choose your combination. After your polishing, you can check with that light what sort of finish you achieved. If it's good finish, you can leave it and progress forward. If it's bad finish, then you have to change something to achieve desired finish. And when it comes to panel wipe, why do we use it? The answer is very simple. Wiping off compound with dry cloth, it only removes some of that compound, but you might have left some minor imperfections on the paint, and compound will nicely fill them. If you use panel wipe, remove them fully, then you can check the finish with your torch, and then you know what you exactly achieved with your polishing. Number 8, too much compound. More compound doesn't mean more correction. If you overload your polishing pad with too much compound, you will simply reduce coating abilities of the pad. Number 9 is not cleaning the pads between doing different sections on a panel. During polishing, your pad is getting filled all the time with residue of compound and residue of paint that you're removing during your work. And if you keep going using the same pad all over and all over again without cleaning, that leads to reducing your coating abilities, but also it will create sort of very nasty finish. It will create haze, buffer trails, etc. So if you're looking for constant results, you should be cleaning the pad regularly during polishing. Number 10 is trying to do full car with just one pad. Why one pad is not going to work for you? The answer is very simple. During your polishing, especially for coating stage, you will be working a little bit aggressively. So from the friction that you're creating on the panel, the pad will be getting softer and softer. So if you complete one section like this and then you try to use the same pad for the next section, that pad more likely is a lot softer. So that means for the next section, if you keep going with the same pad, you're going to reduce your coating abilities. So changing the pads between sections will give you constant level of coating, but also what that will do, that will extend the lifetime of your polishing pads. Number 11, overestimating products and tools. A lot of beginners believe that a good compound, good polisher, good pad, that's a half of the battle. In reality, the brand that you're choosing matters far less than your technique. Around 75% of your results depends on how you use your combination. Then the 25% depends on whether you choose the proper gradations for the task you have in front of you. And that means for the hardness of the paint and for the level of damage. But definitely not which brand of compound pads or polishers you used. Number 12 is unrealistic expectations. Even though you might have the most expensive setup there, still when it comes to machine polish and paint correction, the process is slow. So even with years of experience, you still have to put the time in it. If you're looking for quick turnaround in a couple of hours that you turn every car into lovely looking, very fresh car, you can forget about it. And in machine polishing, practice is everything. The longer you do it, the more effort you put into learning how to do machine polishing correctly. This way you will be able to reduce time of your work. But at the start, if you want to do really nice jobs, you have to put a lot of time into it. To recap this video, if you started with machine polishing, focus on consistency, technique and inspection. Good tools help, but understanding how to use them, that's what delivers the results. And also remember, in detailing, every day is a school day. So that's everything in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comment sections whether any of the tips was something that you overlooked during your polishing. If you like this type of content, make sure you subscribe my channel and see you on the next one.